today we're going over the 15 nutritional recommendations to be a lean, mean grilling machine. Is that an adjective you guys would like to call yourself right there? Sounds like it needs to be an infomercial. We actually have options. We can go over this presentation, or I could do like a grill warfare boot camp class, and I brought some celery if you guys want to do a celery eating contest. And also I got some calipers. I can line you up single file and take your body fat. Do you guys want to do that instead?
Yeah,
What do you guys think? All right, we'll go over the presentation. Okay. Yeah, just take one of them. Yeah. Yeah, well, they're two-sided, I think, hopefully. So basically, I gave you that sheet that says the 15 nutritional recommendations on it. And what you're going to do with your markers, you're going to go through there at the end of the presentation after I explain it, and you're going to mark off whatever current recommendations you're doing on a regular, consistent basis, not once in a while, but consistently doing. And then you're going to try to implement one new recommendation a week until you have all 15 of them accomplished. All right? So if you have 3 recommendations that you consistently do right now, you got 12 of them to implement, so it'll take 12 weeks. If you have 14 of them, you just got one more week, and you just kind of build on top of each other. So the first recommendation is eating non-starchy vegetables at lunch and dinner. Why I love non-starchy vegetables is because I'm a fiber fanatic. I say fiber fights fat because of the satiety it provides, so make fiber your friend. One thing that's great about non-starchy vegetables is that you get... I've never said that before. That's the first time I said that. Yeah. So non-starchy vegetables are great because they provide high volume of food but low calorie density. When you're trying to lose weight, you don't feel hungry all the time. So make non-starchy vegetables kind of a staple at lunch and dinner. You can fill up roughly half your plate of non-starchy vegetables and not consume a lot of calories. So it's the volumetrics of food, high volume, low calorie densities. So examples of non-starchy vegetables is basically anything except corn, potatoes, peas. Those are your 3 starchy vegetables. Everything else is considered non-starchy. So like carrots, green beans, broccoli, cauliflower, squash, zucchini, asparagus, mushrooms, onions, peppers, that kind of stuff is considered non-starchy vegetables. All right?
I thought carrots fell into the starchy.
No, that's one. Sweet potatoes are, but not carrots. Carrots is a big, yep. A lot of people think that one for sure. I get asked that almost every presentation. Yeah. One thing that I like is the carrot chips with yogurt dressing. That's a really good snack. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the yogurt dressing, but it's got 1/3 of the fat of your traditional cream-based dressings, and it's yogurt-based, and it's got the same creamy consistency, but it's provided that creaminess is from the yogurt, not the actual cream. Drinking at least 48 to 64 ounces of water a day. Your body's roughly 60% water. If you're like me and sweat like a fat guy on a first date, when you work out, you want to replenish that fluid. So I'm big on, especially this time of year, trying to drink as much water as you can. Another recommendation, if you drink more than this, is really drink half your body weight. So if you weigh 100 pounds, 50 ounces. If you weigh 1,000 pounds, 500 ounces. So that's kind of another recommendation. One thing I always talk about is trying to drink 8 ounces of water before you eat, while you eat, and after you eat to kind of slow you down. A lot of times, I'll talk about here in a second, we don't take it long enough to eat, and this will help slow you down a little bit. So doing the 8 ounces before, during, and after. Drinking cold water between meals can slightly elevate your metabolism, and then drinking room temperature water with meals can help with digestion. That's why Asian people have less digestive problems than Americans, because they're always drinking hot tea with their meals, and we're always drinking cold water and stuff, plus a lot of other reasons, but that's one of the reasons. Eating out 3 or less times per week, I always say the last concerns of the restaurant is not our waistline. They're concerned about the food tasting good, and we want to come back. So did I hand these out? I handed the cards out, didn't I? That's one of our resources is on the back of that business card is an in-out calorie tip chart. That one's more for like drive-throughs type stuff. We have another one for sit-down restaurants. But we try to give our clients rules and regulations to abide by when you go out to eat. You can see some of these things might be a woman's daily caloric needed intake for the day. So like a thick burger, if you pound one of those, 1,400 calories. A Blizzard, 1,300 calories. And then if you pull through McDonald's to get breakfast, it could be up to 1,100 calories. So yeah. So, if you're wanting to stick to 1,400 calories, you have a thick burger, you're fasting, for a while. Yeah. Eating at least 25 grams of fiber per day. Besides that satiety or that feeling of fullness that fiber provides, like I talked about with non-starchy vegetables, it's the scavenger for the LDL cholesterol. The LDL is your lousy cholesterol, the one you want low levels of. It basically hunts it, picks it up, and takes it where it can be excreted out of the body. Helps regulate blood sugar levels, so you get the rolling hills with your blood sugar versus the mountains and the valleys. So it's basically correlated with energy levels. When your blood sugar is within normal limits, your energy is usually more regulated. You always see that Snickers commercial, the hungry thing. They're all grouchy and stuff because they haven't eaten. we get grouchy sometimes when we haven't eaten, so it's good to have that blood sugar with the normal. It helps prevent colon cancer, and then everybody knows if they've had a grandma with prunes, it helps with constipation, keeps you more regular and stuff. I got warned that I can't talk too much about fiber, so take at least 20 minutes to eat your main meals. When you take less than 20 minutes, don't give your body time or the vagus nerve in your stomach to send the signal to your brain and say, hey, silly, shut down, you're full. So when you take less than 20 minutes, you often overconsume the amount of food that you really need. So it's really important that you take that 20 minutes. In other cultures, when I went and visited my dad in Spain, it's like I had to fight to get a bite in my mouth because all they do is yap your head off. Here, we might not even look at the person across from us when we go out to eat. We just focus on our food. So don't focus on the food, but focus on maybe the fellowship of the people you're with and stuff when you go out to eat or eating in general. Don't drink your calories. Drinking or liquids don't provide satiety. Oh, yeah, I forgot you guys are Toastmasters. And I just said, and stuff. So someone's going to count me. I got to watch myself. Now I'm on the spot. All right, so don't drink your calories that don't provide any satiety or feeling of fullness. You're still going to want to eat your calories. Some ways to kind of increase the sex appeal of water is that you can put lemon, lime, orange, or apple slices in your water. They also make a great product called True Lemon, True Lime, True Orange, and they just came out with a True Raspberry Lemonade. It's kind of like the Crystal Light Pure, that having artificial sweeteners. The true ones are all natural and stuff, so I like those products a lot. And it's basically equivalent to 2 lemon wedges or 2 lime wedges. It's not always practical to carry like a Ziploc bag of lemon wedges around with you. Have at least 2 servings of whole fruit a day, and what I mean by whole fruit is where you can eat the outside of the fruit, the inside of the fruit. The outside of the fruit is the fiber source, the inside of the fruit is the fructose or the sugar source. So when you eat fruit, you want to get the fiber and the sugar source. So you want to eat things like apples, peaches, pears, berries, grapes, things like that. And when you like bananas, oranges, cantaloupe, watermelon, those type of fruits, if you're going to have that, the best time to have that, since you're only getting the fructose or the sugar, is post-workout if you're going to exercise, because that's when your body can metabolize the simple sugars the best. It's not saying you can't ever have them, but the whole fruit's better because you're getting the fiber and the sugar source of the fruit. Another good thing is frozen fruit. I think I had that on this one, maybe frozen. Yeah, frozen grapes. You can't eat a frozen piece of fruit as fast as you can a thawed piece of fruit. So it's almost like a healthy Jolly Rancher. You can put some frozen grapes or frozen berries in the freezer and suck on those at night. So that's a good thing. Eating breakfast every day, it can speed up your daily metabolism by up to 25%, which is significant. I always use this woman analogy. Would you rather have the metabolism of a Hemi or a Briggs & Stratton lawnmower engine? This is a woman analogy, so I'm trying to relate to the women. What do you guys think? What do you think has more horsepower? A Hemi, correct. So basically eating breakfast revs up your metabolism is what I'm trying to say with that woman analogy. So skipping meals, basically your metabolism is going to start slowing down, and you want to rev it up by eating frequently. It's called the thermic effect of food. Every time you eat something, your body has to expend calories to break down that food. So it's important to eat on a consistent basis. Trying to limit carbs within 5 hours of bedtime. When you eat, majority of people consume the majority of their calories during the day because they're moving around, they're more active. At nighttime, you tend to be more sedentary. You're either watching TV or reading a book. You're not expending a lot of calories. So it's better to have the majority of your carbs during the day at breakfast, mid-morning, lunch, mid-afternoon, and kind of wean them off at night where you have lean protein, non-starchy vegetables, and healthy fat. We actually did a warm-up run around, if you want to go ahead and knock that out real quick, and stuff around the building. Taking a multivitamin daily, it's kind of an insurance policy. Most people do not get the 9 servings of fruits and vegetables day in and day out. So a multivitamin kind of uses like an umbrella policy to get those 27 essential vitamin minerals that your body needs. The one thing that I always recommend about multivitamins is that you want to eat it with food. I don't know if you guys have heard of fat-soluble vitamins, and basically what that means is you need fat to absorb those vitamins. And then I'm big on liquid or chewable vitamins. Like 2 years ago, in the news, they were reported about Centrums. They were finding them in the bottom of porta potties where you could still see where it said Centrum. They were passing through the GI tract, not being digested at all. So the absorption rates go way higher with the chewable vitamins and the liquid vitamins. All right, to plan your meals, you kind of want to have a game plan when you go to the grocery store. You definitely, obviously, don't want to go hungry, but you also want to kind of gather the family together and see the interests that you have. If you don't have a game plan for the week, that's when you start doing convenience things like eating out or frozen pizza. So kind of have a game plan going into the week on what you're going to go or what you're going to get at the grocery store. When you don't have an ingredient for a recipe, you're just going to do something quick. So kind of have a game plan when you go to the grocery store. Shop the perimeter of the grocery store. That when you're pushing your cart around the grocery store, the staples that should go into the cart will be from the produce section, so like the non-starchy vegetables, the whole fruit that we've talked about, the lean protein, the lean meats, and then the low-fat dairy. When you start going down the aisles, that's when they process food, and that's when they add sodium, trans fat, cholesterol. You're also going to have those for the most part. Those are kind of filler items for things, but the majority of the food that you get, you want to try to get from the perimeter of the grocery store where they don't process the food. Eat snacks that are less than 200 calories. When you consume a snack that's over 200 calories, it's basically a small meal. We provide a snack sheet, and it's got like a protein snack, a fiber snack, and together you want them to be a total of less than 200 calories. So an example would be like a 2% cheese stick and a 90 cal fiber bar. They also have 90 cal brownies that they just came out with. These are good for women. The traditional Fiber One bars have 9 grams of fiber, and sometimes that causes a little gastrointestinal discomfort. So these aren't as bad on the GI tract, I think. Stress eat on non-starchy vegetables. I don't even know why I put this one in there. Everybody, when you're stressed out, the first thing that you think about eating is some carrot sticks and celery, right? Is that correct? So the reason that I talk about stressing on non-starchy vegetables, you're not going to have that guilty feeling. You're going to expend some energy. Some ways to kind of increase the likelihood that you would do this would be celery and salsa. Like I like pico salsa with the celery. It's kind of got the same kind of texture and feel in your mouth as chips and salsa, so it tastes really good. And that yogurt dressing with the carrot chips that I was talking about earlier, those are some suggestions. And then like when you eat something like, I don't know, candy or chips, it's almost like a snowball effect. You're eating that, you're depressed, you're down, and then you feel guilty about eating it, and it just keeps on getting bigger and bigger. And then the last one is to brush and floss your teeth right after dinner because you don't want to screw it up. And this kind of puts a stopgap on the evening. A lot of times people have a tendency, every time they walk through the kitchen, they'll go ahead and just toss something in your mouth, and those calories add up over the course of the evening. So just flossing and brushing your teeth directly after dinner so you don't continue to kind of binge the rest of the evening. Any questions on that before we play Jeopardy? I kind of sped through that pretty fast before we could play Jeopardy because that's the fun part. Nothing.